Hello, this is Sabina at Crosskeys Crafts with the Papercraft Society Advent Calendar for December the 20th. I can't even believe it's just 5 days till Christmas. So let's have a look what's inside. Oh, it's a little envelope. Oh yeah, I remember now. If you're wondering, I have already opened this once. I opened it in November when I thought I would record all the videos in November. So by now I have actually forgotten what it is. Oh, it's lots of sequins. These are actually really nice. They're colourful but sort of iridescent and like pastel colours. So this shouts shaker card. I just have a quick think what kind of shaker I would like to create, and yeah, what images, what motifs I would like to use with these. So bear with me whilst I'm getting my supplies out. So I had a look through my stash. I was looking for some pattern cardstock that matches the colour of the sequins, but I was also looking for some ephemera because I would like to make a frameless shaker card, which is the easiest one to do ever. So this will only take me about 5 minutes. And this is from the works. I must have bought that 3 years ago when I first got into paper crafting. It's nothing that I would buy today. There were some die cut sheets. I don't even recall using these. I might have given them away. But I was left with this pattern paper, which I think is quite nice. And there is a sheet of stickers. And this is perfect to put on the front of the endless or a frameless shaker card. I just hope that the shaker elements don't produce too much bulk and then that these get a bit creased. I could, if I wanted to, put them on some cardstock and make them a bit sturdier. I might have a little think about this in a moment once I've put the sequins in. So for the shaker card, I think I've already got a video on the channel on how to make that. I might have made it a little bit differently though there. What I'm using for it are these clear bags. I've got tons of them because I used to sell my cards. I just wanted to show you that there is a difference between some of these. Some of these have got the stitched bit here on the side, and that's obviously not that pretty, but you could use that. You could make it smaller, the size, and just fold this on the back of the card. I have just used this plain one, and all I have done is cut this piece of paper. By the way, this is sold as a 6x6 bag, so which is weird actually, because it is actually, no, it's weird. I bought this as a, I'm sure I bought this for 6x6 cards, but this is actually the bag. Just let me check it again. Is 6 3/4 square, which then allows me to create a 7x5 card. I have cut this panel here on the inside to, let me just think again, 6 and, I better measure it again, my brain's gone. Just under 6 3/4, sorry, 6 3/4 here, and just under 4 3/4. Reason being is when you want to insert the card into your bag, which is what I've done here, you don't want it to be too tight because you want to leave a bit of room for the shaker elements. But the good thing about this frameless shaker card is once it's sealed off, you won't have any shaker bits falling out. I could put some glitter in there actually as well. I'm just thinking about that. I might do that. So all I've done is basically put this cardstock in there, and now I'm putting my sequins in. I won't use them all, but I can be quite generous. Just thinking, well, that is too much now. That might be a bit too much, because the problem is then it gives too much bulk. So let me pour some of them back here. I'll have to find a different container for them. Oh, and one more thing. Some of them slipped in the back now, so that's no good. I'll have to take this out again. Let me just sort this off camera. I won't bore you with that. So I will basically, because the thing is, when you pour them in, just bend it a little bit so they all end up on the front. But now that I try to get some out again, I think this is sort of all I need. I don't want too much bulk. So these will go back in the packaging as well. Just as I said, I just sort this off camera. So I've got my sequins in here now, and I'll remove the ones from the back. The tip is not to do anything with this except for seal it up properly. So I'm just bending this here round the back, not too tight. I'm leaving like a millimeter here on the side because I want this to have a bit of a bit of room inside. So I'm just peeling the release paper off here, and I'm just sealing this off. So I'm just pressing this seam down here. So I've got a bit of a fold here now. I'll just try that again. Yeah, that's better. So that now I've got a shaker card that is fairly flat, that works nicely. So you could, I'm just contemplating whether I want to cut this a little bit shorter, because the problem is now I have, if I glue this card down now, half of this card will not be stuck down. So ignore what I've just done. I will actually cut this shorter. So, and only have like ½ inch overlapping. And because it is acetate or plastic, I will use my red tape because that holds best. Having said that, no, I think I will just find some clear tape. That should be enough, because then that will hold both layers. Bear with me. Yes, so I've got a strip of clear tape here, and I will I will lay the tape down on the desk here. I hope you can see that. It's sticky. And then I will put the edge on it, half of it, and then it's easier to grab the whole thing and fold it over. And this way I've got less of a cushion there. Just pressing this down, and then I can cut. Oh, that wasn't intended. Oops. Then I can cut the excess off without cutting into the bag, obviously. So I'll see if my stickers work. I think it should do. I think there's not too much bulk there, so because sometimes you can get like lumps and bumps, and then they might show in the sticker. So I'm going for this little raccoon with the balloons, so I think he'll look very good. I'm just contemplating whether I want him on the side. I think I just pop him on the side here, and I deliberately put him a bit higher because when the card arrives, most of the sequins will be at the bottom, I assume. So when you stand it up like that, you don't have the bulk where you've got the sticker, or you don't have the sticker where you've got the bulk. So, and I'm just thinking whether I've got a sentiment here. I think that's all it would need, really, like a little sentiment. Don't forget, you have the stamp set from a few days ago with the exploding box and the sentiments there. They would work nicely for that, but I feel like I don't want to go back to that stamp set today. So let me just find a sentiment somewhere in my stash. I ended up going back to this stamp set after all, so I picked the little party time here. I wasn't quite sure what sentiment to use, and I stamped it in dark blue, but I decided that was a bit too harsh, so I ink blended over this just with a remainder of the salvage patina on my brush, and that basically dulled it down a little bit, so it's not as harsh, and it blends them in a bit more nicely with the more pastel colours on here. So I've also just off camera put on some red tape on the back, so I'm just taking that off. I can't remember whether I mentioned that I created my own 5x7 card base just from A4 cardstock. So you just cut it down 10 inches by 5 inches. No, sorry, 10 inches by 7 inches. And then you score it at 5. That gives you a card base. So I've shown you this trick before. Just peeling these off sort of a third way in. I'm just folding these over. It's not as easy with red tape. With the normal tape, it's a bit easier. This one's a bit more plasticky, but it's doable. And that allows you to not necessarily reline it, but it's a bit safer to take it off. So you take the middle one off completely, and then you can hover this over your card base. Make sure you've got all the ends sticking out, like so. Oh, no, I haven't done it. This one's gone back on. Sorry for blowing off camera here. I'm just trying to pick up that bit again. These are not as cooperative as I wanted them to be. So theoretically, this would be a 5-minute card if this was all a bit easier. And also, I spend about 20 minutes rummaging through my stash of things that I want to do. So now I've got all the ends out. I can hover this over my card base, make sure it's set down evenly, and then I can press it down, and then I can pull all these out. Move that up so you can see that as well. And I don't know if you saw that, because I've got a bit of space there in the cardstock, I did not put the red tape right at the bottom. So there, I've got a frameless shaker card. So that's really simple, really easy, but good fun. So have a look through your stash, what ephemera you have, and yeah, and you've got a really easy card. I will put a white panel, I think, here on the inside. But yeah, I think that's quite cool. And if you think so too, if you like this card, you might want to give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see what I'm creating tomorrow, you might want to subscribe to my channel. I'd be very happy about that. And after this really short video, I'll spend about at least half an hour now tidying my desk with all the sequins that I've dropped and all the bits. But hey ho, that's crafting for you. I'll see you tomorrow.